pepper the area with offers and see what sticks. That's what I would say.
This episode is brought to you by Shrubs.me.
Let's talk about how to get a good deal in this market.
How to get a good deal. Forget about a good deal in this market, TK. You can find the best deal in the world. The money.
Fine. You need to buy. You need to buy. You need to buy.
You need to buy.
You need to buy. You need to move. You're a first-time buyer. How do you buy a property in this market?
You got to have cash, bro. No, listen, it depends on what you're buying. But
you're buying a home. You're buying a semi-detached home in central Toronto.
What are you buying? What's the question? First of all,
you're buying a semi-detached home in central Toronto. How do you get a good? How do you get the best deal?
How much is that? 1.2, 1.4? How do you get the best deal? You fucking first of all, how did you get your down payment? I want to know. Like what?
You're qualified. You got the money. You're a first-time buyer. Who cares?
First-time buyer. Yeah. So how do you get something you can afford? You have to live in Kazakhstan, I think, because there's no way that the math works.
Your budget's 1.2.
Assuming you can afford this thing somehow, and you're not too picky about where you live, you should fucking pepper the area with offers and see what sticks. That's what I would say. Go with low balls all over the place. Have no concern for anybody's feelings whatsoever and see who the fuck bites, because somebody might bite. They might take your crazy offer, or you may get a whole bunch of sign backs, right? And you can you can play around.
And there's people out there now who have listings.
Was I right? Was I right?
You're close. That's part of it. Yeah.
Is that good?
And so yeah, absolutely.
And
so you did great. And so bottom line is there's gonna be people who are listed. I have listings of my own. I won't tell you which ones, but people are just like, just tell them to bring me the offer lower.
Get
I'm like,
me
no,
a fucking offer.
We need to list it at the price that we need to sell it for, that it's worth, because that's why when people are actually going to come in and look and make an offer. But when we're listed $100,000 too much, they're not even aware that your property's for sale. Because if their budget's 1.2 and that you're listed at 1.3, they're like, oh, they're at 1.3. I don't want to offend them. It's too much. I can't afford that. I'm going to go and look at that other house priced at 1.2, right? In that other neighborhood, whatever, and then I'll make an offer there. But if you were priced at 1.2, all of a sudden the person who's got the budget 1.2 say, wow, it's got a backyard. Wow, it's got an extra bathroom. They have higher perception of value. They'll go and look at the property. Anyways, that's on the seller side. But the buyer side is there's people out there right now willing to take less. They just don't want to list it lower, and their agent isn't skilled enough to be able to show them why that's going to actually help them sell. And therefore, you need to throw offers out. You need to be making offers on properties that you love, not the wrong properties, the properties that you would live in, that you agree with, that are good locations, that aren't stigmatized. That's a big one right now. Any stigmatized property, train tracks, backing onto the cemetery, busy corner, whatever it is, very difficult to sell right now.
Sure.
Right? But you have to send those offers out and get people to be at least in the conversation. When somebody tells me that they're interested in the property, you know what I hear?
Great.
I hear, when someone brings me an offer, I'm like, John Smith from Remax over there, his clients are Sarah and Bill, and they love this home, and they got a dog and a cat, and that they want to buy it, and that they're living right now in Leslieville, and that they're hoping to move here, and that they got 2 cars, and that they've seen it twice. And like, it just registers with me and the seller so much more because we've actually received something that shows genuine interest. When all you do is you get your realtor to say, we're willing to pay you $900,000. Let me know if you're interested. Like, I received freaking 10 calls already about the property. And it's like, you don't sound that serious. And so I'm not able to, appreciate the level of interest that you may or may not have. Of course, as a listing agent, I'm telling people to bring the offer, but not every listing agent might. Some listing agents are probably going, 900? Are you crazy? Are you stupid?
Yeah, that's fine.
You don't know this area.
Yeah,
but I'm just saying, as a buyer, you have to take matters into your own hands, put that offer out there so they know who you are. And guess what? When they're sitting around the dining room table, they're going to be like, maybe we should just sell it to Darryl for 900. Honey, we've been on the market for 3 months. I'm trying to move up north. I'm trying to go see my mom. I'm trying to figure this out. Darryl's willing to pay us 900. Well, Darryl is prepared to close in January. Darryl said that he'd buy the home with no conditions.
Yeah, but you got to make sure, if you're a seller, especially right now, okay, you have to make fucking sure that Darryl is not borrowing the money from like a private lender, because that market is a fucking disaster right now. Okay. You want Darryl to have an approval from RBC or Scotia or TD, one of the big banks, right?
This is applying to these conventional mortgage type of people.
Well, you
how
have
do you get
to make
how do you get the
sure
best deal when you need to buy, when you're buying this market, no matter what?